All right, what is up, ladies and gents? We're back with a recap, finishing small green on the day. Yesterday was an interesting day. Yesterday we had ICCM and ICCM. I took a pretty decent loss, $400 loss on ICCM. And that was on, so I'm down 267 yesterday. ICCM, green 93 today on LASE. So ICCM, the trade that I took my loss on was right here. Bought the dip at 350, 2K shares. I was ready for that reclaim or at least some sort of 10-cent bounce. Take $200 off the table, but it dumped 20 cents a share. And, I was just like, all right, got to take the loss here. I don't know if this is just going to keep dumping. But, 20 cents on a $3 stock is still it's a 4% loss. I mean, it's not terribly big, but like when you see this level of sell-off in a stock, it's like, you're already down from the highs 15%. How much longer is this going to go down? And plus, you had all of this resistance from the day before. I didn't know if it was just going to be a blowout, just dump. Ended up panic selling for a 20-cent loss, $400 loss. I was up 100 and something on the day. Finished 267 after making some back on this front side, but because I took that big loss, I didn't nearly get aggressive enough on this front side because I was nervous of taking even more losses. So, especially, that's my max loss, $300. $300 was my max loss. So, wrapped it up yesterday for a pretty decent loss. But, I don't really feel all that bad about it because I've taken losses so much more bigger and I stepped up to the plate. And that's what matters. I took that 10K position size on ICCM, didn't work out, only a 4% loss. Only a 4% loss. It can totally make that back in percentage gains. Anything more than a 10% loss or more that's when you start to getting into like, okay, buddy, you really made a mistake here, and you better change this habit, or stop holding onto these stocks too long, or averaging down, or whatever the heck you're doing. Yeah, 10% loss is terrible, but a 4% loss, that's a normal normal loss. It's a normal loss. It's just that I had a big position size. So definitely proud that I stepped up to the plate yesterday. Today, I didn't step up to the plate. LASE, I didn't step up onto the plate with LASE. Had some nice trades on it, but I didn't really have any big winners on LASE today. And lots of small gains adding up. My biggest winner was 2%, a 2% win. So we'll go through the recording on on LASE, and let's take a quick look here. So LASE, right at the opening range, we're looking for a break of the pivot and the VWAP. Got to be careful with the opening range. Lots of bull traps, bear traps, fake outs. Got to be quick. Got to be, very focused on the level 2, monitoring these orders. Right here, getting in, getting out, waiting for those buyers to step in. And right when we were at that pivot point at 192, I was in 500, don't quite hold. And then look, right as I see 192 and them chipping away that order. So at 190, you had, okay, we take 190 pretty easily. 191 is, something in my mouth. 115, and then it gets shipped down to 66. And then this immediately goes from 250 to 129. I'm like, all right, we're about to break through this pivot point. You see all this green on the tape here, and I punch it. Not nearly as much as I should have, but immediately as I hit the ask or slap the bid, whatever, slap the ask. Immediately as I slap the ask, this thing is already up at 195. Taking my profits at 1955, nice 4 cents. And I think that was my 2% gain I was talking about. But this thing all the way up to 2, I get back in for the break of 2. We don't immediately get it. Take my small loss, trying to get back in lower. 196, got back in lower at 196, holding for the VWAP retest. So the VWAP retest, that's my risk right there. If we break back below VWAP or this pivot point right here, that's where I want to cut it loose. But we hold that baby. We're back up immediately. When I see a jump like that, buyers are happy. They're excited. They're happy. They're punching it right here for this breakthrough $2. I love the micro pullback right under the whole dollar. So right into $2, I add 2 more times. When we get that break, taking it off. Could have held it a little bit more. I got a little bit too excited for that break at $2, but it did end up doing a false breakout. Then it pops back up, and then we break out again. Then it's another false breakout all the way back down. And this right here is that same trade I took on ICCM. ICCM, I took that $400 loss. This trade, I would have made $400, but I didn't take it. I didn't take it just because of what happened yesterday at ICCM. So that same trade right here, we break out, opening range, and then we dump all the way back down. We retrace half of this move all the way back down to VWAP, like what we're seeing on today on LASE. I took it right here, 347, 2K shares. Actually, 3K, no, not 3K shares, 2K shares, and got the 20-cent loss. So I didn't take it on LASE. It would have actually worked in my favor. That retest all the way back down to VWAP after the opening range breakout. And I didn't take it. It ended up ripping all the way back up to 215. Would have been a really good entry on this dip. But your boy Tom did not take it. Your boy Triad was Triad and no more. He didn't want any more of this dumping action, so he didn't take it. But the entry would have been, if you weren't in off of the 90 EMA support or, risking this area here, 193, the next entry would be that break back over 2. And if you didn't get in on those 2 entries right here, if in real time, I would not have taken this up at 202. 203, 204, it's a little bit extended on the 1 minute. Whenever I see a big candle like that after, a big red candle, we could be seeing some resistance up here in 205, but it didn't end up breaking through. But if I took an entry, a starter right here at 202, 203, definitely a little bit more riskier, but it did end up working in your favor. And we break out, and then I go in for a couple of dips on that first dip. So patience right here. I don't want to be chasing into the highs. A couple, last year me or earlier 2022 me would be taking my starter right here at 213, adding into 216, only to get stopped out right here at 210, taking a pretty big hit. So in 2021 and 2022, that actually strategy would have worked. Just, blindly just buying into the highs, just no holds barred, going all in for the parabolic move, because that's what was working. It was just stocks were just going higher and higher. You just buy high, it goes higher. Buy high, it goes higher. Now you cannot be getting caught, buying at 213, 214, 215 for the break of the high after it already made a 1 minute push on the 1 minute, on the 1 minute from 197 all the way up to 218. That's a 20% move. And so something like that, or not 20%, 15% or something like that. That's a pretty big move for a 1 minute candle. And, this type of market, you don't want to be the person buying here at 215, 216, FOMOing into the highs. I've done that so many times to learn my lesson. Wait for the pullback, man. Wait for the pullback. So here, kind of scalping off the lows. 209, 208, taking it off at 211. Now we're up 213. We're up 5 cents a share right there. Come on, baby. But, we're still seeing a lot of selling here, so I'm not holding right now, getting back in on the lows. Stop is at maybe 208. So 1 or 2 cent stop. Looks like I took that off for a small gain. Oh my God, my nose. All right, so back into the highs. I saw that a lot of buyers bidding this to a bottom candle wick and got a nice pop there through the highs. So right there, I want to be long, but that hesitation right there, when it hesitates like that, I already take half off because I think it might be a fake out. That's just how, I roll, because right now, you'll see this. It's like, wow, it looks great. Like, look at this bottoming tail. We got a nice front side right here coming into the highs. I'm going long right there for the break to the high. And once I see that hesitation, sometimes you'll get this, and then the next candle just dumps all the way back down below this candle wick. So the way I've adapted is like, I add, I take the bullish indicator into the highs or into, a break of a pivot. But if it doesn't immediately go, I'm already covering my ass with a half a sell in case this thing comes back down. Because I'm honestly better off in the long run covering my ass, covering my risk, than trying to just punch it, and not, monitoring my downside. That would have worked maybe last year, but, this year, you definitely have to cover your ass. And there we go. We end up getting it, but, that couple second hesitation right there that didn't immediately go, it dipped back down to 213, gave me a little bit of, get me a little nervous. So I only was in 250 shares there, but I got a nice pop. Got a nice pop there. See, but something on that, I want to be doing, maybe 1,000 share increments on a $2 stock. And that's what I was doing yesterday, but I took that loss. Here we do have a false breakout on the 1 minute. Oh shit. What the hell happened? Ah, Jesus. All right, so we break out. Okay. But, you see how you get that false breakout, but it doesn't break the lows. So, now I'm starting to think that the shorts may be getting caught on the wrong side of the trade. We had a false breakout. If it was strong, the shorts were in control, this candle would have broke through this previous candle low and maybe come down here to $2. Well, because we're holding high here, I'm starting to think that this could be a short trap. We do get a nice bounce off the 90 EMA, but I don't quite get it. There I take a dip off the $2 support, taking it off at 203. This was a nice fill. It says I should have gotten filled at 205, but I got filled at 2025. So thank you, TUS. You actually worked in my favor for once. Added again at 201, and then taking it off in profit. Those backside dips was actually, it's a very risky strategy, these backside dips that I'm taking here. Very risky strategy, but that's actually the first strategy that I was able to master. The first strategy that I was able to master. It seems so weird psychologically that I'm more comfortable buying a stock that's selling off than I am getting aggressive into the highs. But that was the first strategy that I mastered, these backside dips. Before, when I started learning this backside dip strategy, I was actually, one of the first mistakes I would make was buying these backside dips on a stock like, let's see if this one has VKTX. No, not this one. ICCM. Like buying a backside dip like under here, under VWAP. I was like doing these types of backside dips. And this is not the type of backside dips you want to be doing. You want to be doing backside dips in a high relative volume stock on a front side on the 5-minute chart and above VWAP. Because that's when you can get that kind of like springboard effect. So that's something that's still kind of holding up on the 5-minute chart and ideally above VWAP. But I really honed in that strategy of that backside dip on the 1 minute, but on a 5-minute front side. And so that's where what you see here. Well, let's see, I'm 198. And I see how I immediately I'm okay with cutting it immediately, as we didn't see that quick pop back over $2. You see this big stack of sellers holding it down. So, and there we go. We actually did get it actually after I sold. So, you know, sometimes it does work, but always have a quick backstop, a quick stop loss. Last thing you want is to be catching a falling knife and it keeps going lower. That's what happened yesterday in ICCM. But I think that's what happened because I wasn't looking at the level 2. I was looking at the chart. I saw a big dip. And I was like, all right, let's go in, all in. Let's put all my chips in 10K position size. And I wasn't looking at the level 2, and the level 2 did not tell me that there was any bids holding it up at 350. When I rewatched the tape, there was no bids there. So I wasn't even looking at the level 2. I was looking at the chart. And I need to get into the habit of mainly looking at the level 2, but glancing at the chart to look for target prices, previous pivot points, support areas, but mainly looking at the level 2 when I'm trying to get in, when I'm monitoring an entry, a potential entry, looking for those big bids or a big seller on a potential exit. So, you know, that's where I want to be kind of monitoring the price. But for the chart, I want to be looking at that as far as like support levels, resistance levels, pivot points, trend lines. But I don't want to be trading on the chart and just kind of using that as my guide. Because, you know, if you're looking at the chart, just the chart without the level 2, it doesn't tell you if there's big bids, big sellers. And so right here, you could tell there's some buyers because a lot of orders are going through on the tape and it's not going any lower. So that's why I take this entry here at 197. Still pinning on the low side at 197. So someone's here soaking all of those orders on the bid at 197. So that's good. That's bullish. So you want to be patient. You see all those orders going through and the price is not moving. Somebody's soaking all those orders. We do pop back over $2. And we do get a nice quick ABCD pattern on the 1 minute. And I do cut this one for a small loss. See, I see that big order at 203, pushing it down, and I could see that there could be a potential another dip. So there we go. If I see any buyers here, I want to get long for that breakback over VWAP for trapping the shorts. Very good entry. But I wanted to see strength. So right here, I'm like, all right, buyers are coming in. Let's go, go, go. Let's pump it. Let's punch it. 700 shares. I need to be even bigger. And I'm taking my profits here. But, you know, in a strong market, this would have came all the way up, broke 210, all the way up to 215. Now it comes back down. I see that hesitation. I stop out break even on the rest, which is a smart move because a lot of times the next candle opens up and it goes even lower. But we do end up seeing a little bit of more of a pop there. What seemed like it would be a cup and handle pattern, it turned into an extended 5-minute pattern on the ABCD on the 5-minute, and then that failed. So now it's like kind of just like a wedge. And this isn't really good. I don't like these patterns like a wedge underneath the pre-market high. Not my favorite because it doesn't really show strength. It couldn't hold above that pre-market high even though it broke that level. So here I do SINT. Jesus Christ. I didn't really trade SINT. I made a big move though, but that first front side was nice if you could buy high on that. Here, you know, 1045, kind of trying to break out this wedge again. We broke out, but we didn't hold very long. I do take a couple scalps, but you know, I didn't really trade this on that front side. Always small size. There you go, there's that huge dump. So that was pretty much it. So, made someone back in my loss yesterday. I'm still small green on the month, so definitely going to protect my gains on the month. Coming into the holidays. Definitely, we're seeing some action. We're seeing some action, and the theme seems to be these reverse splits. So what the reverse split is like the stock trades in, their market cap or their shares, their current shares, for a higher price on the stock. So, this recent one, was it HTGM maybe? Yeah, this one did a reverse split. No, was it SINT? So, they, how can I explain this? So, if they do like a reverse split of like 1 to 10, they'll like lower their shares at the market, amount of shares on the market, by a factor of 10, but they increase the price by a factor of 10 as well. So it kind of evens out. And so, nothing really changes as far as the market cap, but what changes is the float. So the float is now 10 times as small. And so that's why it's actually good to be seeing these reverse splits on some of these stocks, because now it's making these stocks, these small cap stocks, even more volatile because of the small float. And now you can see an even bigger imbalance of sellers and buyers, and that's how we've been seeing some big moves, SINT, VKTX, ICCM, HTGM. So that seems to be like the theme right now. But as you can see, as fast as the stock can go up, it can come just as fast coming down. So got to be definitely wary on the backside. But that's it for the trade recap, finishing base hit green. So happy today with my base hit. Going to come back tomorrow and do it again. And I'm happy to come up every day, happy to come in every day and take another crack at it. Have another chance to get better, have another chance to learn, have another chance to grow, to get to that next level. I love experiencing the fruits of my efforts in trading. It kind of reinforces my morale, reinforces my motivation to study more and try to get better. So I'm going to spend today reviewing my trades. I'm going to spend today looking at some online education, and I'm going to come back tomorrow to do it again. So thank you guys for watching. If you're still watching, please hit that thumbs up button. Also subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.